Hi, this is Janice from PinayInvestor.com. Today I have a short presentation about the frequently asked questions on my blog regarding SSS, or the Social Security System of the Philippines. The topics that I will discuss will include the following. First, how much should you pay for your SSS contribution as a voluntary member, where I will show the SSS table of contribution as a guide. Second, when to pay your SSS contribution, and I will also show the deadline of payments. Third is where to pay your SSS contribution as a voluntary member, and I'll show you some of the payment options and payment centers. And fourth is how to check if your payment was accepted and posted online, and I'll also show you later how I check my SSS contributions and payments online. But before I start, just a disclaimer. I'm not affiliated with SSS, and this video is for educational and information purposes only. And most of what I will share here are based from my own experience as a voluntary member of SSS. So if you have any questions or concerns regarding your own SSS accounts, you can post your comments down below and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability and knowledge. But I would recommend that you contact SSS directly so they can give you the best answer or the best solution to your concerns or issues. Okay, so let's get this started. The first topic that I showed you earlier is how much should you pay for your SSS contribution as a voluntary member. This is the updated SSS table of contribution, and this is our guide on how much should we pay for our contribution. The first column shows the range of compensation. So if for example we're earning 4,750 to 5,249 and 99 cents, then our monthly salary credit is 5,000 pesos. This monthly salary credit is what they use to compute for our benefits should we avail of them. But don't worry about that right now because we're only going to check how much should we pay for our SSS contribution. So let's skip this column and let's move on to the third column, which is more important. So this amount on the right side is the total contribution that we should pay as a self-employed voluntary member, or OFW. So again, if we are earning 4,750 pesos to 5,249 and 99 cents, then our monthly contribution is 550 pesos. If you're earning less than that, like for example, you're earning 1,000 to 1,249 pesos and 99 cents, then you only have to pay 110 pesos monthly. Or if you earn 15,750 pesos and over, or more than that, then your monthly contribution should be 1,760 pesos. I hope you understand what this table shows. And if you want to have your own copy, or if you want to take a look at this again, you can visit this link, or you can simply type SSS contribution table in Google or whatever search engine you're using. The second question is when to pay your SSS contribution as a voluntary member. There are two tables on these slides which show us the payment deadlines for regular employers on the left side and the payment deadlines for household employers, self-employed, and voluntary members except for OFW members. So since we are talking more about voluntary members, then let's focus on the second table. So it says here that if the 10th or the last digit of the SS number ends in 1 or 2, the payment deadline following the applicable month or quarter is on the 10th day of the month. And if it's 3 or 4, it's on the 15th day of the month. If it's 5 or 6, it's on the 20th day of the month. If it's 7 or 8, then it's on the 25th day of the month. And if it ends with 9 or 0, then the payment deadline is on the last day of the month. Again, I just want to emphasize that the payment deadline of your SSS contribution falls on this specified dates of the following month. Let me also show you a table that I created that guides me on when to pay for my SSS contribution. I pay for my SSS contribution quarterly, and for the first quarter of this year, which includes the months of January, February, and March, the deadline of my payment was April 10, since the last digit of my SSS number is 1. So if the last digit of your SSS number ends with 3 or 4, then the deadline of payment for your first quarter contribution is April 15. So if it ends with 5 or 6, then it's April 20. If it ends with 7 or 8, then it's April 25. And if the last digit of your SSS number is 9 or 0, then the deadline of payment for your SSS contribution is the last day of this month, or April 30. But again, you're paying for the first quarter of the year, and that includes January, February, or March. So the deadline always falls on the following month of the quarter, or the month of your contribution. For the second quarter of this year, which includes the months of April, May, and June, the deadline falls on the following month, which is July. And depending on the last digit of your SSS number, these dates are the payment deadlines for your SSS contribution. Remember, you can also pay it before the deadline. So if you want to pay for your second quarter contribution, you can pay it as early as April or May or June. You don't need to wait for July to pay for your contribution. It's even highly recommended that you pay it before the deadline to avoid long lines and long queues in the SSS branch or in the payment centers. The third question is where to pay your SSS contribution as a voluntary member. In the next few slides, I'll show you the different payment options and facilities on how and where you can pay for your SSS contributions. First is you can pay for your SSS contribution through the SSS main office or the cashiering department. Second is the SSS branch tellering counters. Third is the CIS Bayad centers. Fourth is the SM business centers, which is what I usually use. And fifth is the SSS accredited commercial banks. For members abroad, they can pay their SSS contributions through iRemit, PNB Overseas Payment System, or Ventaja. It can also be done through auto-debit agreement with the accredited banks below. We have Asia Trust, BDO, BPI, DBP, First Green Bank, Metro Bank, PNB, PS Bank, UCPB, and LBP. We can also pay it online with BankNet, and I will post the link in the description below. The banks that are accredited with BankNet are Allied Bank, Asia United Bank, China Bank, CTBC Bank, City State Savings Bank, East West Bank, Export Bank, Maybank, PBCom, Philippine Business Bank, Philippine National Bank, PhilTrust Bank, Postal Bank, PS Bank, QCRB, RCBC, RCBC Savings Bank, Robinsons Bank, Security Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, Sterling Bank of Asia, and Tongyang Bank. So if your bank is not on this list, then you can pay online with BankNet. As far as I know, the option to pay online via BPI or BDO is only applicable for employers. So I guess the best option for me is to pay it at the SM Business Center, and that's what I usually do. This is the RS5 form for the contribution payments return, and we need to fill out this form before we submit it to the cashier together with our payment. So the information that are required here are the amount, the date, the SS number, surname, given name, middle name, the address together with the postal code, the telephone or cell phone number, and then check the box to indicate the type of payer if you're a self-employed, voluntary, OFW, non-working spouse, farmer, or fisherman. And if, for example, you're going to pay for the first quarter of the year, just type the year here, like January 2015, February 2015, and March 2015, and the amount of your contribution based from the SSS table of contribution. So if, for example, you're going to pay 550 for January, 550 for February, and 550 for March, then just indicate it here. Then write the total remittance here in figures. So if it's 550 per month for 3 months, that's 1,650. And you also need to write it in words down here. You also have to read this declaration and affix the signature of the member. And after that here, to certify that the information that you have entered are correct, you have to write your printed name and affix your signature over it. This form comes in two copies, and usually there's no carbon paper at the business center, so you'd have to write all the information both on the first copy and the second copy before you submit it to the cashier together with your payment. After they process your payment for your SSS contribution, they will give you a receipt similar to this. Please always keep your receipts, or better yet, have this photocopied because it gets erased over time. It's still best to have something to show if some discrepancies occur, like if your contributions were not successfully posted on your SSS online account. And finally, the last question is how to check if your payment was accepted and posted online. And to answer this question, I'm going to open my internet browser and log into my SSS online account so that I can show you how I check my contributions online. The address is www.sss.gov.ph, and this is the official website of the Social Security System of the Philippines. And on the right side, this is where we're going to enter our member login information, or the user ID and the password. Let me just do it now. Make sure everything is correct before we click submit. I was able to log in successfully because it's showing my employee static information now, and then I need to hover my mouse over member info and click on actual premiums. Now it's showing me my monthly premiums, and for the year of 2015, my payments for the first quarter of this year, which includes the months of January, February, and March, are already showing up with 550 for this 3 months. So it means to say that my payment at the SM Business Center was successfully posted, and it's now showing on my SSS online account. So this is how you check your contributions online. If for some reasons your SSS contributions are not showing up here, you can contact SSS directly and show them the receipt that you paid for your contributions for that particular month or quarter. That's all for today. I hope you found valuable information from this video. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them down below. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It's Pinay Investor. And please visit my blog at pinayinvestor.com. Thank you for watching.